Hello fellas, it's Jose again, bringing you all the year 2 of Braveclan. Honestly, at first it looked like this year would end up being entirely uneventful, but the last couple of moons really pulled it together by bringing us 2 new youngins. But more on that later. If you don't know what's going on, I have year 1... Sorry. I have year 1 up on my channel, and I recommend that you start there. I've put together a playlist where you can watch all the videos related to Braveclan in order, and there'll be a link to the playlist in the corner on screen and probably in the description eventually when I get verified. Anyway, let's crack on. Now, we did have an addition to the Star Clan cast this year, but don't worry, none of the cast from the last video died. This is Heatherbird, a medicine cat from another clan who offered her healing skills in exchange for shelter. She was 73 moons old, shameless, and a good mediator, interestingly enough. Moonpelt and Astrostripe found her and brought her in. Her and Hollownest made a solid start of a friendship before she was immediately killed by a snake on her second moon in Braveclan. And I was so excited to have her. Oh well, what do you do? I almost forgot to give her snake bite, but here she is in the Star Clan lineup, without ever having had the chance to join the living one. Speaking of, let's move on to the living cats. And starting off with Riverstar, who is still going strong at 9 lives. He's entered his Elder Sprite era, however, and I suspect we'll be having a new leader soon-ish, or maybe not. In any case, I hope it'll be many moons with him yet. He still kind of dislikes Astrostripe, but they're getting better. He thinks he might have been too hard on his judgment of Astrostripe, which is solid progress. Him and Hollownest, though, they had some fights this year, and they've developed some distaste for each other. Riverstar just can't get along with his fellow leading cats now, can he? We really need a mediator up in here because this is becoming a problem. He's getting a little gray in his old age, but he's no less sharp and sound of mind. I'm not sure if he's been sick even once. He might be eternal. He's still very social. He's always hanging out with someone and chatting away. He thinks about his clanmates and their well-being and checks up on them like a great leader. He doesn't worry all that much about his leadership skills either, like he did in year 1. He's gained some confidence in that field. Now onto our deputy. Astrostripe has not had a good year. In the beginning, him and Milkpaw started having some issues, and for the rest of the time, he's been feeling gloomy, insecure, and stressed. Then he dislocated a joint and now has to stay in the medicine den. Poor guy, really. At least he's still got his friendship with Graypuddle going for him. They spend a lot of time together, and he hopes he'll have Graypuddle's support if and when Riverstar finally kicks the bucket and Astrostripe has to step up. Riverstar has been slowing down and getting grayer, and Astrostripe is having the realization that Riverstar won't be around forever and that Braveclan might be his to lead sooner than he expected. I'm kind of rooting for Astrostripe. I think he'd be good at it, and it's what he deserves. He's worked very hard as the deputy. But I also worry that it's not what he wants, and when the time comes, it'll be a disaster, but we shall see. I hope. He'll have the support of his closest friends, assuming they're still kicking, that is. Hollownest, for one, is getting up there in moons, after all. Speaking of, Hollownest is being a good medicine cat as per usual. He's been thinking about other clans and his work and whatnot. He had some disagreements with the Riverstar and they weren't really talking for a while, but Hollownest was still wondering how Riverstar was doing. He really cares for him, even if they're not getting along the best right now. He'll want to start looking for an apprentice soon. He's not the young cat he once was, and he'd like to train the next medicine cat himself. He had Heatherbird for a partner very briefly, and he quite enjoyed having the support of another cat. He's already 86 moons, and he'll be 98 next year if he lives. I hope that he can find an apprentice before he kicks the bucket, not that he's doing that yet or anything, but it's good to be prepared because this game is pretty brutal after all. Also, his scar switched spots, my bad. Most of his markings actually switched spots. Now, note to self, always draw them standing up first so you can make the markings make sense. My bad. Now, the warrior that I'm sure you've all been waiting for, Graypuddle. He is now 57 moons old. His year started off kinda mid, but it got better. Glowpaw was dropped off at the Braveclan and became his apprentice, and they later found Lightkit together. He's taken these new kids under his wing for sure, and he's very proud of their progress so far, and they definitely see him as a father figure. It's a nice distraction from the issues with his biological son, who seems to be grumpy at everyone right now. They bicker all the time, and it's really put a dampener on Graypuddle's mood. He wishes they could just get along like before, but no matter. If Milkfleck wants to be like that, then who is Graypuddle to stop him? He's a grown cat, and Graypuddle isn't gonna run around trying to please him. Milkfleck is free to come and talk and communicate when he feels like sharing the issue. He's still very close with Astrostripe and prefers to spend his time with him over anyone else. He still has a teeny tiny crush on him, but things like that haven't really been on the top of his mind right now, and neither have they been on Astrostripe's. I do hope these two figure it out though, because I think they would make a good pair. Graypuddle got a bit of a pelt rework. I think he looks much better now. And here he's on his way to check on Glowpaw and Lightkit, and he's very happy that they're happy. Moonpelt has grown plenty this moon. He's been a part of some important patrols and has gotten very close with Astrostripe. They stumbled upon Heatherbird together. Moonpelt is constantly daydreaming about what's beyond the borders of their territory and how much there is to see in the world. I think he might be expecting to get Lightkit as his apprentice. He is next in line for mentor after all. His adventurous nature could also be good for Lightkit, who's a bit insecure right now, but we shall see. I don't think Moonpelt is looking to climb the ranks, that's not why he wants an apprentice. I think he's more after the experience, and sharing what he feels and what he knows. I think he also wants to be a good mentor and really bond with his apprentice, simply because he didn't get to have that. Don't get him wrong, he holds no grudges against Astrostripe anymore. He understands that it was a very stressful time for everyone and that he wasn't exactly helping the case. But he does want to kind of experience apprenticehood again the right way, by training his own. Ooh, poor Milkfleck this year. He's just not having a good time. He's had a lot of disagreements with his father, and they sort of dislike each other now. Milkfleck actually kind of dislikes everyone right now, and he doesn't have any close friends. I guess his father's strangeness rubbed off on him a little after all. It didn't seem like it at first. He was very popular as a kid and as an apprentice, but things have gone south for him. He's feeling quite salty about everything right now. His father, who he's kind of ruined his relationship with, has taken the two new kids under his wing, and StarClan do they look happy. Graypuddle is so proud of Glowpaw and Lightkit and so disappointed in Milkfleck. Whatever, he doesn't care. He doesn't need his father's approval. He just needs to impress Riverstar and maybe Astrostripe, and all will be well. His adult sprite ended up being quite different in pattern from his apprentice one. I think it's fine though. Pelts change all the time, right? Whatever the case, his pelt is now fresh and looks good. He's looking a bit bitterly as Glowpaw and Lightkit wrestle, and as Graypuddle is happily watching them. Is that jealousy I smell, Milkfleck? Wishing you had a good relationship with your father right about now? Wishing he looked at you like that? Damn, that's tough. And here, our first newcomer. Glowpaw was dropped off by a loner who could not care for him anymore. He was like 4 months, I think, when he joined. He's 7 moons now. Graypuddle took him under his wing, and he's also Glowpaw's mentor. Glowpaw is very faithful, he's taken very strongly to the clan's religion, and Graypuddle's strong connection to StarClan is most surely helping this choice. He's always thanking and praying to the stars, and he takes great comfort in it. I think he definitely feels like StarClan guided his loner parent to these cats and feels as though he belongs among them, like he was always supposed to end up here. He bonded very quickly with the other bandit kitten they found. He's very proud to have been the one that sniffed her out. Him and Lightkit were immediate friends. I so hope that they stay that way. I'll be heartbroken if something happens to them. And finally, our first girl. Lightkit arrived at the very end of this year at 4 moons old. She was found by Graypuddle and Glowpaw. Upon arriving to her new home, she immediately bonded with Glowpaw, probably because they have a lot in common, getting abandoned and all. Graypuddle is looking after her at the moment because, of course, he is. She's very excited to be an apprentice with Glowpaw next moon. I do wonder who her mentor will be. She's currently insecure and 5 moons old. I wanted to draw a real kit-looking kit, but let's be honest, she's practically an apprentice at this point, and she'd be around Glowpaw's size anyway. I'm so happy she's here. And that'll do it, Braveclan Year 2. And here's all of them together. The story is starting to form. I feel like Milkfleck is the main character here right now, if not Graypuddle. I do hope they make up though. Their relationship was so sweet when Milkfleck was a kid, and it's so upsetting that things have ended up this way. However, this is interesting, and there's a lot of potential with this direction of events. Now, thanks again for listening to my ramblings. If you enjoyed and would like to see more, feel free to drop a like. And maybe even subscribe. My commissions are also open. I'm moving soon and could really use the extra pocket money. You can find more info on my DeviantArt page if you're interested in stuff like that. Alright, thank you and catch you later and take care.